we are going to be doing a song, Wildwood Flower, one of the most standard classics of the bluegrass repertoire is Wildwood Flower. Now, there's a PDF that goes along with this, so the link is in the YouTube description down below. So if you can, go ahead and download that. It's an easy arrangement. I added some finger numbers to it. If you have the PDF, go ahead and get that out in front of you. I added some finger notations there for you where it's an open position. Let me play it for you first, and then if you have your guitars, we can play along together and I can tell you about it. There's kind of an easy version, then there's a version that's a little bit more complicated. So, all right, let me play this little bit of Wildwood Flower for you. There you go. A fun little arrangement of Wildwood Flower. The song Wildwood Flower was first recorded by the Carter family back in the 1920s, although it had been playing in country and folk circles long before that, but it was first recorded by the Carter family. And it quickly became a standard in the bluegrass repertoire and the folk repertoire at that time. And Maybelle Carter, when she had done it, she played it in the key of C, but it was often capo. She would capo it up a couple of frets and to where it actually sounded higher than it is. So we're not going to capo it. I just wrote it out in the key of C. Now, one thing's unusual about this arrangement is that instead of having the melody high up in the register, it has the melody low and the accompaniment over the top of it. So you end up with the melody is. And in between those longer notes, he just adds a couple of strums. It's a very interesting way, kind of a bottom-up arrangement of Wildwood Flower, which is kind of how everybody plays it. So let's dive into this. It's not hard at all. If you're familiar with a few basic chords, at least C, G, and then a little bit of an F, you can play this song. So I've got the tab written down here for you first. We start in the open position, start with our second finger on this E, and then basically you're in a C shape. So just kind of get your fingers in that C shape and you can pretty much play everything that's happening. Then second finger would come catch this A, then I'm kind of back into this C shape. Now I switch to the bottom half of a G chord. With this, I would probably use my fourth finger on that high G. Everything else is open. So if you imagine a G chord like that, this is just kind of the top half. And then you're back to the C. So let's play that again from the beginning. Now on this upper C and an E, just give that a quick little flick. So what's important is the melody. So I want to bring out the melody, the little chord accompaniment flicks that happen throughout the song. Those are less important. So in a reverse of what we would normally do, where we're having the melody high up and we're having to make that the loudest, we're making the melody loud this time, but the melody is the lower notes. Notice for those first three bars, really I'm just kind of in this C shape with my first finger down here on the second string and the G and the E open around it and everything, if a few things move, but other than that, I'm in this shape. Then I switch to the G shape, second, to the second finger on that low B there, and then I got a C. Then I have a low G, still on that C chord, this alternating bass. Remember we've talked about alternating bass before? And this is a fifth string root chord, so the alternating bass is right below wherever you're fingering. If I had a B7th, it would be right below it. If I had, let's say, an A minor with an open A, then the open E is the low fifth below that. But this is a C. And then it repeats, an exact repeat of those first 4 bars. All right, so now we're on the 3rd line. Now it goes to this B section of the song. Still staying with my first finger and then an open E over the top of it. Probably a 3rd finger I would do here on this D. So all of those notes, basically, I'm just with my first finger down, and one time I add my 3rd finger D. And a couple of little dyads there where I'm doing adjacent strings. 2nd finger A. Now I form this little baby bar, a little baby F chord. A mini bar, if you want to think of it that way. So how do I do this? Well, I've got my first finger here, and he's going to cover both strings, the 1st and 2nd string. But how you may be tempted to raise this wrist up and curl this first finger like that, and that is not how that works. Let me show you. Let me solve this problem for you once and for all. All right, your knuckle, let me try and get this where you can see this, goes down a little bit, and then it also goes up, and I can bend my finger this way. But occasionally, we need to invert it and do this. Now, it doesn't invert very far unless you're double jointed, but it will hold weight that way. So what is happening on this little baby F is the first finger is inverted like that, but the 2nd finger is normal, and he's coming over the top. So you're doing 2 different things. So if we can, I don't know whether you can see the camera angle real good. My finger may be in the way. But this finger is flat, almost inverted a little bit with the knuckle, and then this one is coming over normal. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is how you do a baby F, or this a D minor 7th, anything like that. If you're finding that you're pulling back like this and trying to do this, you're going to do that all day long, kids. You're never going to get that chord. You got to push and invert that first finger knuckle. And that's how you get this A, this F chord with this A in the bass. That may feel unfamiliar to you, may feel a little, if you haven't done this kind of level of inverting that knuckle, it may feel very strange to you to do that. But that is how you solve that problem. And so listen to old Uncle Steve. Don't try and muscle it back and pull like that. You're not going to get it. You're going to forever have a chord that sounds like this, with it not working. The force is pushing, not pulling. So here's that F. And then I'm back to a C shape. Just a C shape. One of the things that is involved with this type of picking is you're doing a single note, then a chord. A way to practice this, I had a bluegrass guy show me this one time. A way to practice this is to play the note. Let's say I've got the C chord. And I'm going to play each of the strings followed by a flick of the rest of the chord. So there's the C, and then the bottom 4 strings for the rest of the chord. Now I'm going to play an E, and the bottom strings that are left, which are only 3 strings down. Now I'm going to play a G, and only 2 strings are left. And finally, I'm only left with the 2nd string, and the only string left is an open string. And and doing a little exercise like that. Let's say I'm doing maybe an E minor, and I would do it with all 6 strings. Low 6th string, rest of the chord. 5th string, rest of the chord. 4th string, rest of the chord. 3rd string, rest of the chord. You can even, here's a bonus one, you can even hammer on various fingers. And get even more interest in movement doing it that way. A little thing to do. Instead of just one flick, you can do 2. And increase the complexity of that little strumming pattern, and next thing you know, you've got a full sort of a way of doing that chord. Just a little. I might as well teach you, as long as we're learning something, I might as well teach you the whole thing. Okay, so we get down to the last line. Exactly that exercise. 4th string chord, 4th string chord, 3rd string chord, 4th string chord. Then I go to G, and I start on that D note. A couple of quick notes here. This is just like the first line. So there you go. Not too complicated at all. One of the things you want to keep in mind, and I see a lot of folks wrestle with this on your strumming hand here, is you want to have that more of a relaxed, flicky motion. One of the things that the bluegrass guys are able to get so much speed out of their picking is not that they're just muscling it like that way. You can't get enough speed that way. What they do is they relax it, and you're just kind of flicking your wrist. And so if you watch Molly Tuttle or Billy Strings or Trey Hensley, any of these incredible flat-picking bluegrass guys that are just tearing it up with the speed, you'll notice they're just kind of flicking this. They have figured out how to control a very small but relaxed wrist. Let the weight of the hand do some of the work, have some of the energy of that strum. That's a little key to getting it quicker and less energy that you're expanding with all of that. So there you go. That's the basic version of Wildwood Flower. Flip over to the next page. Flip over to the next page. Okay? This is a little bit more elaborated version of it. And I just added some hammer-ons. We talked about hammer-ons a little bit earlier, and I just added a few hammer-ons there. If you're not familiar with how they look, take a look at that second page. And we start normally, just like we did. And here it is, the first one. I have noticed that little note that it's smaller than the others. It's a little G. It's a little 8th note. It's got a slash through it if you look closely. That's called a grace note in the biz. And that is, we're going to hammer on from that note to the note that's written after it. So we're going from a G to an A. So I'm actually plucking on the G, and then I hammer on with a strong, quick motion to the A. Now look at right here. We're in what, the 3rd measure there now? I'm going to hammer on from not an open string, but from the 2nd finger E to the 3rd finger F. Hear that ba-da-dum? So those first couple of bars are... It's almost got a 16th note rhythm. And the rest of that measure is normal. Hammer on here. This is normal. Hey, let's do some hammer-ons here. So I'm just hammering from the open 4th string to that 2nd finger, 2nd fret on that E. All right, so let me play this for you. There you go. A not very complicated arrangement of Wildwood Flower. You know, there's a great video of Molly Tuttle actually teaching, I believe it's a cross-picking thing on Wildwood Flower, where she kind of goes... And it's kind of a cross-picking thing. Try and dig that up, and that's a very fascinating video of how she's teaching a cross-picking technique with that. I didn't notate that out. But here's a little basic arrangement of it. I know sometimes I give you hard arrangements. This is not so hard, but it's a good song. Okay, if you have a question, please put it in the chat there. Nancy12345X is saying, what about a 0.60 millimeter pick? Okay, well, I'm using a 0.73, so 0.6 is going to be a little bit lighter. I find that is a little lighter than I would care to be. Oh, maybe if I was doing a 4-hour gig of just me strumming, I may think about doing that. But if I have to do anything with single notes and note being very precise, note precision, the 0.60 has a tendency to flop around. It's just more flexible than a harder pick. So you notice a lot of these bluegrass guys use harder picks. This is a point with 0.73. We've got 0.88s. I've got a harder, smaller. This is a jazz pick. I don't have a heavy, normal size pick, but a lot of the bluegrass guys use a 1 millimeter or even more for their picking to get a very precise, very fast type of picking, because they're just using a very precise instrument. It's not flopping around as much. So what about a 0.60? It's a great pick if I'm doing a lot of strumming. If I'm having to do anything with precision, where I'm having to do maybe a single note or single note runs, you might try something that's a little harder, a little stiffer, and that might work even better for you. You might be able to get a little bit more out of your picking than you thought. So let's see. Diane, you found Molly Tuttle's Wildwood Flower. Look at you. You are just unstoppable. Any other questions regarding this? I see some folks are just logging in for these things. Mike and Dawn, Janice, welcome. Glad you're here. Okay. All right, so there you go. A little bit of Wildwood Flower. I thought it's Bluegrass Month. We do a little Bluegrass Month. Hey, you want to know, I don't know much bluegrass, but here's a lick I do know. I should have written this out, but we'll have to do it another time. Is left, let's say I'm in G. The old G, A, B flat, B, D, E, G, which is a pentatonic scale with one added note. If I just start elaborating that, I can do it in other keys, in C, maybe in E, maybe in A. So you just spin out of it different ways, but it's a good seed lick to know. There you go. That one's for free. All right, I think I have done all that I need to do with Wildwood Flower. Let me look at my notes here so I'm not saying something that I can't back up here. All right, that's it. That's it for that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit of Wildwood Flower. I think maybe we'll learn even next time we'll do Arkansas Traveler or something like that, as long as we're kind of thinking in a bluegrass style of things. I wanted to let you know of a couple of resources here. I've got while we were talking about single note practice there. I have been working with a lot of one-on-one lessons this week with various folks, and one of the more consistent problems that I see folks having is wrestling with finger precision is what I'm getting. It's not really flexibility, it's precision. Getting your fretting hand and your picking hand to fire together. One of the first fretboard workouts series we did was speed and agility. And I take you through these little exercises, little finger exercises. They're not meant to be musical, they're meant to be technical. And they will help you get this precision that you need between the right and the left hand, the fretting hand and the picking hand. And we have done that. It's been out for years now, and we have consistently gotten good results. So I know the content is good. If you're interested in that, we put the link in the YouTube description down below for the speed and agility exercises to get you playing a little bit faster, a little bit cleaner. If you find that you are missing notes and you kind of have this misfiring thing happening all the time, you might spend a little bit of time doing these finger dexterity exercises that we show in the speed and agility. And that will help you get the precision that you need. Kurt Collins is saying, so the bass note is the fifth away from the root that you're playing. Yes, root fifth. A bass line typically goes root fifth. He can go to other notes too, but he's typically going between the root of the chord and the fifth of the chord. Let's see. Root. Now the fifth is above it on an F chord. On a G chord, the fifth is up here at the fourth string. I believe I did a lesson way back when on alternating bass exercises, something like that. Moving the bass around, something like that. Maybe we need to redo that lesson, and I can re-update that, and then leading you between the root and the fifth. But you do that in all kinds of styles, whether it's, San Antonio Rose, root and fifth. Whether it's Latin, root, fifth, root, fifth. That idea of moving between the root and the fifth, if you're on a fifth string root, then the sixth string fifth that is beneath you is always on the same fret. So if you're at fifth fret, see how it's always on the same. Even if you're open, then they're both open. So it conveniently lands like that. Great question. All right. I think we have gotten through all of that. I wanted to talk to you about, I'm going to give you 7 steps to changing chords quickly. And then after that, we talk about capos, and then I'm going to tell you the key to everything. The key to everything. Paulette says, wow, that is impressive. Oh, here's my thing. Okay. Changing chords. Well, another one of the things, Anna's saying, what type of wood is the neck of my guitar? Whew, you'd think I would know this. It's the darker wood. I don't know. There's darker ones and lighter ones. This is the darker one. Whatever that is. It's not spruce. That's light. So, mahogany, maple, maybe. Something like that. Andre is saying, just finished the freight train boot camp. Come on, that was good. We did that way back in COVID times. Didn't we do that? All right, changing chords with speed and accuracy, another thing that folks fundamentally seem to wrestle with. And they think it's a chord problem, and it's actually a technique problem. You don't have enough technique to do these things. So let me give you 7 tips for developing speed and accuracy. I'll try and put this on a little PDF, and maybe we'll put that link in the description down below. On the neck, John is saying rosewood, and we have Walt saying mahogany. I feel ignorant that I don't know this, but it's not something that I think about very much. Changing chords with speed and accuracy. All right, this is something that everybody wrestles with. How can I change chords quicker and be more accurate at it? All right, I'm going to give you 7 tips. Here's the first one. Form the new chord several times while looking at your hands. I need to know what the new chord, what it looks like, and I need to be for sure I know what it looks like. So let's say I'm trying to do, I don't know, maybe this C major 7th. This C major 7th. Let's say that's my new chord that I'm trying to learn. Okay? Well, first thing I need to do is I need to form this chord, and I need to form it accurately. In order to form it accurately, I have to look and form this chord accurately. Are my fingers in the right spots? Well, no, it's sounding wonky. Oh, my fingers are on the wrong strings. I need to form the chord accurately while looking. Okay? Now, I need to get to that formed chord. Okay, so that's another little piece in this first part of it. How we do that is once I form the chord, I get all the notes working that I want. Then I release the pressure and just let my fingers come off the fretboard just a little bit. And then back on. So I just release the pressure, not even really getting it out of the shape of the chord. I'm just releasing the pressure. I'm still looking at all this. Okay, and now I'm going to bring my hand away about an inch and put it back on. I want all the fingers to land as a unit, as a solid picture. As I'm going to this, I don't want to go finger, 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 finger. Now, when you start learning a chord, that's kind of how you do it. But as we know what the chord is, I want to start landing it as one unit. So even while I'm coming to this chord, my fingers are moving into this shape. Okay, so that's an important key. So first thing is I just release the pressure. Then I lift my fingers off the fretboard, but don't move the position. Then I take them off about an inch, still having my thumb right where it needs to be. And I practice landing this chord a few times. Then I go all the way down, still have my thumb there. I practice landing the chord like that. Then for the last one is I'm going to take my hand all the way off, maybe touch my pants or whatever, just to completely lose the form and then try to form the chord. Okay, so those little baby steps are all wrapped up into this first idea of looking and while you can do this. Now this is going to sometimes this takes a couple of days, just getting this part of it down where I can form the chord and come back away from it. Step number 2, form the chord several times without looking. Okay, so now I need to rely on my muscle memory of getting that chord there. So am I going to make a mistake? Yes, I may land on the wrong. I may completely on the completely wrong set of strings, but let your fingers feel around. Come on, let your fingers feel and get them used to landing a chord without looking. Look somewhere else. Maybe I can move it around, but I'm not looking. Now, if I need to glance to kind of reset my fingers, that's fine. But first I do it with looking, second I do it without looking. Okay? And I'm still working on forming that chord correctly. But ideally, I want to be able to look somewhere, like right now I'm looking at you, and I'm still forming this chord correctly. Number 3, jump from a familiar chord to the unfamiliar chord. So I'm going to say I'm going from maybe a C, this C, to this C major 7th. This C to this C major 7th. Maybe a G, a chord I know, to the unfamiliar chord. So I'm jumping from a familiar chord to the unfamiliar chord, and I try that a few times. And I get used to that area of the problem. What's the next one? Number 4. I strum 7 quarter notes, then I jump to the next chord. Okay, so assuming I'm doing an 8, do I have my... Yeah, I do. So I'm going to get just a metronome sound here. Let's slow that down a little bit. And I'm going to play my chord for 7 beats. I'm going to start on my familiar chord and then jump to this unfamiliar chord. So let's say my familiar chord is a G. I'm going to do that for 7 beats and then jump to the unfamiliar chord. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, jump. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, back to the G, jump. So I left myself 1 beat to 5, 6, 7, jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, jump. 1. So I do that game for a while. I was at 82 beats per minute there. You can slow it down as much as you need to, but it forces you to jump at a certain time. And that's important. So I do 7 strums of my familiar chord, then it gives me 2 beats to 1 beat to jump to the new chord and form it. If you need more time, then do 6 of the familiar one and give yourself 2 beats to get to the other one. So I'm kind of baking time in there, and I'm going to slowly reduce the amount of time that is going. Step 5, then I do 4 quarter notes, then I jump to the next chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, jump. 4, 2, 3, 4, jump. 1, 2, 3. The last, or step 6, I add a simple strumming pattern as I change between the chords. What are we doing? We're doing tips for how to change chords quicker. And this is a little road that I have walked down for any unfamiliar chord, and it really does work. This last one, step 7, put the chords into some sort of a musical setting. Go back and put them into the song that you're working on or whatever. So now we've gone out of the workshop, and now we're back in the application part of the problem when we're trying to do that. So there you go. 7 tips for changing chords with speed and accuracy. Number 1, form the chord while looking. Number 2, form the chord without looking. Number 3, jump from a familiar chord to the unfamiliar chord. 4, start working with the metronome. 7 strums of the familiar chord, one beat to move, and then land on the unfamiliar chord. Step 5, reduce that to 4 strums each. I'm lessening the amount of time that I'm able to strum. 6, add a simple strumming pattern. 7, put the chords back into a music lesson or into a musical setting. So there you go. Nancy is saying, great lesson, just PayPal'd you. Great, thank you so much, Nancy, that helps. We do have the PayPal link there. If you'd like to support the work that we do with these free lessons, hey, come on. It helps literally keep the lights on for the work that we do. There's PayPal, and then there's the Super Chat through YouTube. Super Chat is fun, but YouTube takes a lot of that money. So PayPal is actually, more of the money actually gets to me. And so that link is in the YouTube description down below. I wanted to talk for a moment about capos. The good folks at Black Mountain Picks sent me a capo. This is their Black Mountain 6-string capo. And I like this little guy. What their uniqueness is they've got springs underneath this rubber thing, where usually it's just a hard surface in an average clamp type capo, and it will have a tendency to pull your strings out of tune. This is not. These are actually little springs underneath here. So it's a very delicate way of doing the pressure. You wrap it around here, and then it's got a little, kind of a hook thing that you put over the top. I like it that it's got a nice big rubber thing on the back that is on your neck there, and it's got a big, nice, big wheel. Call me, just an ape, but Some of these capos are like trying to deal with a fishing lure. It's got so many little switches and contraptions on it, and it's hard to figure out what are you supposed to do with this. How do you get the dumb thing to work? This is simple. I like the design of this. So you put this over the top, you clamp it on the back, get that on there, and then you've got this big wheel to tighten it on there, and it applies the pressure without pulling the strings out of tune. I like that. It's great. Doesn't pull the strings out of tune like a normal capo or like a clamp type capo would. Anyway, it's a great capo. You check it out. We've got the link in the YouTube description down below. And they had sent me one of these, but it's a good, I'm trying to do better with recommending good resources for you. And this is I have no problem recommending good resources. So this is a good one. This is the Black Mountain Capos by Black Mountain Strings. They're putting out great material. It's good. It's durable. It is simple to use. I like that. It is sleek in its design. It's not too wide here. I like that because sometimes I need to reach for something back here, so I tend to like thinner widths right here. And so this is a good one. We've used a lot over the years, and each one of them has their advantages, but this is a really good design made by the good folks over at Black Mountain. So check that out if you're interested. Scotty is saying they're thumb picks. Yes, that's what they really started off with were their thumb picks. And then they got started doing some other stuff as well. So great. All right, we're getting ready to land this ship. I want to talk to you just for a second. The inner game of guitar. I've been teaching a lot this week. I had some opening in my schedule to do some private one-on-one teaching. I haven't really done much of that in years. I've taught, we used to do, when we first came to Nashville, I did a ton of that. Then we did all the online stuff, and then I taught at the university. So I've taught a lot of folks how to play this hunk of wood. And now I'm doing a lot by Zoom and stuff like that. So we've opened up some schedule, and so I've been teaching some folks over there. We've got just a few slots open. So if you're interested in trying to get a one-on-one lesson through Zoom, let me know. And we can try and fit you in on that. Hey, thank you, Jim Cathcart. You are one of our great encouragers. What a great Jim has been with us forever. One of the best speakers in the world, Jim Cathcart, for professional development, stuff like that. Great guy. With wonderful influence. We love him and his wife, and they've been here. And we have had wonderful, fun times together. When you're trying to learn guitar, this is one of the things that's been on my mind. So just humor me. Just go with me for a second. When you're trying to learn, I did some research today, talking about the inner game of guitar, how folks actually get the job done. The key to everything with learning guitar. People go to these TED. You ever watch these TED Talks? These videos. I think there is even a TV channel now with just TED Talks. Just fascinating. Folks go to this. You know how much folks pay to go to these TED Talks? I did a little bit of research today. The average TED conference in 2026, their in-person attendees pay $2,400 to $12,500 to attend these TED Talks and get this amazing information. That's incredible. They spend that much money to get the right information. And it is great information. It's fantastic information. Wonderful information. I know I have spent many an hour watching these TED Talks, and they're great. And after the guy finishes, everybody claps. Guy walks off stage, and you know what they do? They go to lunch. And they forget what this guy, who just shared the secrets to whatever that is going to really make a difference in their life, how many of those people just clap, pay their registration fee, clap, then go to lunch and forget all about that. They may remain, oh, remember that guy, he talked about this? That was great. But they don't do the one thing that is needed for real change. And here's what it all comes down to. They never change their lives, their day-to-day patterns with this new information that they just got on whatever topic it is. It's interesting to me. People will pay for information and yet not do the one thing to apply it into their lives. Call me crazy. As an educator, I find this fascinating. How often do we hear a new guitar thought, a new Instagram guy is giving a new lick or whatever, and we go, wow, that's great. That's incredible. I wish I could do that. That's great. And I may even download the guy's PDF. We provide PDFs. You know what that PDF is going to do for you? Absolutely nothing until you put in the work to make it come alive, to apply these concepts into your own playing. The key to everything on guitar is not necessarily the information side of the equation. We hunt after the information. We search for the information. We'll pay high dollars for the information. And information is great, but you still don't get it done until you take that information into your practice room and do the hard, uncomfortable work of sitting down with your guitar and wrestling with this until you can figure out how to do it. That is the key to everything. I know I watch these videos and I say to myself, wow, this is great. This could change my whole musical, situation. Then we get up and we go get a bite to eat and I forget all about it and nothing ever changes. My son, Daniel, he went to a conducting institute in the Bard Conducting Institute. And it was taught by he's a conductor. My son is a conductor, and he conducts the Belmont University Opera. And he's done wonderful things with that. Anyway, when he was learning, he went to this Bard Conducting Institute. They had the legendary Daniel Farberman, I believe it was, that was the conductor there. And they had various people would get up on the platform in front of the real orchestra. They had a real orchestra there for these conductors to learn how to do it. And Daniel said they would watch each other and critique. And one of the other guys got up there, and he conducted. And Daniel Farberman, the main instructor, said to him, "Stop the whole orchestra." And he said, "If you were a basketball player and I was able to give you a pill, and you would be the ultimate basketball player, would you take that pill?" The guy says, "Of course, yes." And he says, "I am giving you the secrets of being a great conductor, and you are not doing them." You are not doing them. You're not going to get any benefit out of it. So it's a completely humiliating experience in front of a live orchestra of professional players, but a very valuable lesson learned. Unless you do it, unless you actually grab your guitar, you're not going to get any benefit from any information that you're seeking to get. It doesn't matter how much good information you take in. If you don't put the effort in to make the information work for you, it is useless. I'm constantly amazed that people will take lessons from me, or at the university when I was teaching there. I would tell them exactly what I saw and exactly what they need to do, and they would come back the next week not having done it. And I was amazed. I'm like, what are we doing here? I'm giving you the key to being a better guitarist, the key to being a better whatever, and you are not doing it. So I would encourage you. I'm not fussing at anybody. I'm just saying realize what the key is. The key is sitting down and playing your instrument. That is worth watching 100 YouTube videos on playing guitar. Turn all that stuff off and actually sit down with your instrument. Enough of that. That's the key to learning guitar, is picking up your instrument and playing. Don't just listen to the information. Put the time and effort in to making it a reality for you. Not just information. We need the application part of the problem. There you go. Mike is asking, Steve, any tips on ear training? Ooh, that's a big topic. something that we will have to cover in a larger space than in the last 2 minutes of a live lesson. Basically, where it starts is you need to try and identify how chords are changing, when are they changing. Oh, the chord just changed there. What did it go to? I need to then identify what it went to. It's usually either the 1, the 4, or the 5, sometimes the 6 minor, or occasionally some other chords. But if you can learn to identify the difference between a 1, the 4, or the 5, or excuse me, this is the 5, the 4, and what that sounds like in a progression. 4, 5. If you can begin to identify that, then you're well on your way to beginning to get the majority of what you need to know in ear training. Listen to the bass. That's always a good tip for any of that. So you'll find the bass is generally is playing it out for you. All right, let me end with a couple of announcements here. Our next live lesson, we're going to be off for a couple of weeks. We've had several live lessons in a row. We're going to be taking a couple of weeks off while my wife and I are going to be helping some other musicians out. And we will be back in 2 weeks. And so our next live lesson will be on the May 26th, Tuesday, May 26th. Don't forget our fingerstyle retreat. The slots for that are continuing to fill up. So I think we only have a third of the slots left. If you're interested in being a part of our fingerstyle retreat here in Nashville during the peak of autumn colors, you can go to fingerstyleretreat.com and get all the information there. It is Cinco de Mayo, so I could not let Cinco de Mayo go without trying to play some Spanish stuff. So I was going to use my amp, but let me just unplug that. Sorry about the pop there. And use my regular acoustic here. And I'm going to play a little bit of Spanish guitar for you. A little song, The Shadow of Your Smile. go, a little bit of the shadow of your smile. Keep up the great work in your own guitar learning. It's a joy helping you out. Learn these things that I've given you. We've given the PDF for. Learn all you can, and we will see you next time.